Hi, this is Rachel with Tarot Dreams, and I believe everything is made up of patterns and synchronicities, and that there is meaning in all that we experience. I'd like to share some messages with you that I received through intuition, divine providence, dreams, visions, meditation, and various channeled energies. And today I'd like to begin by exploring some of the things that I have been seeing during my dreams and through meditation and through intuition. Now, I have been picking up through my intuition, I have been feeling the parables of Yeshua. And the two parables that are standing out to me, or two of the parables that are standing out to me, would be the wheat and the chaff, where they were told and instructed to go ahead and let the weeds grow, and that what would happen is when they went to go harvest the wheat, they would bundle the weeds and then burn them. And then I started to really focus on the one that talked about the talent, the coins, where the master gave his servants the one, he gave 5 coins, and the servant invested it, did things, and it doubled to 10. And then with another servant, it was 2, and it doubled to 4. And then with one servant, he did nothing with it. He held on tightly to that one, and it did not grow, it did not multiply, so it did not please that master. And then I started to pick up the energy that we are going through a cleansing, a transition, and there are things that are going to change, but there are things that the weeds are being exposed, and they are trying to make us fearful and hold on to certain outcomes or ideals that they project and they plant onto us. Let's take the stock market. In one of my visions, I seen the gators literally walking and circling on the banks, and then I seen a bank. So they're waiting. They're trying to set everything up to make a run for the banks, because there are things that they want to impress upon fear. So the message that I was getting was that we need not to be fearful, that the weeds will be burned. They will be exposed. Right now, the weeds are being allowed to grow so we can see them, so we can acknowledge what needs to change, because we are going through a transition period, and there will be a pretty profound cleansing. And I have, I started feeling like the morning star, and I started getting that reference a lot. I started picking it up. There were other readers. There were other highly intuitive readers out there that, and energy readers that were picking up morning star as well. And I was given that, Revelations 22:16, Jesus had spoke of sending his angel to the churches, and he had stated, and this is the part that sticks out to me, that I am the root, and I am the descendant of David, the bright morning star. And then I thought, well, Lucifer was also the morning star, but he was a fallen angel. He was a fallen morning star. And that one is in Isaiah, I believe. How art thou fallen from heaven, son of the morning? How art thou cut down to the ground, which did weaken the nation? Once again, weaken the nation, and Lucifer, that morning star energy. So we have those that are the weeds that are weakening the nation, but we also have the root of David that will come about, that will testify about these things. So those were messages that I'm getting that are underlying. And then I wanted to transition into some of the other messages that I was receiving this week. I was seeing various or channeling various energies that were bringing forth the strength, the courage, and they were all, reminding me that we needed to find joy. So when I thought about the parable with the coins, we shouldn't be scared to invest. That could have been triggered intentionally to incite fear, because once again, the run on the banks, I'm getting that rather strongly, rather heavily, that we need to do things with the realization that there's a cleansing coming, there's a transition coming, and things are not going to look like how we thought they were going to look like. I really believe that there's going to be some huge revelations and some huge changes that are coming about. Now, I did also receive, I want to say it was just a quick little vision, and I know that the 17th has been sticking out in my mind. Actually, the 17th, 18th, and 19th. But I believe it might begin on the 17th, but I don't know if it is because I seen that there may be a natural disaster of some sort, or a disaster of some sort. It may not be natural, actually, because I seen the Mothman. And usually when I see the Mothman in dreams or in visions, there's usually something that happens. The last time I seen the Mothman, there was a flood and some people lost their lives. I'm not stating what it's going to be because I didn't see anything around it. So it has the potential energy of, something happening, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it will. It's just a potential energy at this point in time. And I know that there have been, some freak things going on at, I think it was Yellowstone, and things of that nature. Let me just check one thing. I want to make sure before I digress. I don't want to digress, is what I'm trying to say. So I want to check to make sure that I'm hitting all the points of what I've seen this week. Let's see here. We got the gators, the banks, and I've been picking up too that something about 2 moons. I'm not really sure what that was about. I believe it's going to be something that it might be that that's, what is it, that star Betelgeuse, but I'm not sure about that. But I've been picking up 2 moons for a reason, and then I was picking up that there might be a potential. I seen it very briefly. It was an explosion, and it was a pretty intense explosion, and then the after effects, there was going to be poisonous, like a cloud of some sort, but that there would be a huge shift after this. It would be a huge awakening after this happened, but it was a very brief blip. So I'm not really sure if that has a lot of potential energy. It might just be being fear that is being interjected into the collective. And I do believe that that's what the main intention is to get people fearful. And the way to counteract that is to get joyful. So I wanted to really stress that now is the time to find your joy, to cleanse out what doesn't work for you, to transition from fear into joy, and know that there are changes and that things are going to happen, and they might not necessarily look like what we anticipate happening. Everybody anticipates that, they're going to foreclose on the bank, or they're going to not foreclose, but they're going to make a run on the banks, and that might not happen. So I think we tend to project fear a lot into a lot of things, and it's just not going to happen that the way we anticipate. It could be an introduction in banks, to test. I don't know. But I just know that I'm getting different energies out there right now. At some point I was getting Mike Johnson. I think he's the Secretary of State, that at one point he may have to intercede at some point, but that was a very low potential energy, but I did see it. So, you get a lot of things that are interjected into the collective, and it can cause a lot of fear. So in order to counter that, you want to go with joy. So the last thing that I got was, it's actually just a reminder. It was an elderflower, and the elderflower reminds me of that it is now time to start, drinking your elderflower tea, or to get your elderberry syrup in. And we're getting ready to get in cold and flu season, and this is going to be one of the best things to help you, especially the elderberry syrup, with building up a resistance, and echinacea as well. But the elderflower is really good as well, and especially if you experience cold symptoms when we get into those seasonal change, the elderflower is really, really great, the elderflower tea. So with that, I'm going to close there. I know that there are things that I missed because I did digress. So I will pick them up, but right now, I just want to stress that we are going through a cleansing. It's a transition period, and that there is change. Things will not happen the way that we think they will happen, or the outcomes won't be. And anytime that there is fear interjected, we need to transform that into joy. We need to evaluate. We're going through a rebirth. Drop what does not serve you and proceed with joy. And I want to thank you so much. And if you're still here, don't forget to hit them likes and subscribe if you're not already. Thank you.